This is the BiggerPockets podcast, show 247.
You're listening to BiggerPockets Radio, simplifying real estate for investors large and small. If you're here looking to learn about real estate investing without all the hype, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and be sure to join the millions of others who have benefited from BiggerPockets.com. Your home for real estate investing online.
What is going on, everyone? This is Brandon Turner, today's host of the BiggerPockets podcast, here with my co-host. Oh, wait a second. It's just you and me. It's kind of awkward, right? All right, so in 246 previous episodes of the BiggerPockets podcast, I don't think it's ever been just you and me. I mean, where's Josh? All right, well, let's go for a good reason today, because today we're doing a very special show. You see, we're 3 months from the end of 2017, at least if you're listening to this about the time it comes out. And I know that a ton of you guys have a lot of big goals set for the end of the year, and you're behind on them. Or some of you guys are ahead on the goals, and you're trying to ante up to get some new ones. Or some of you have never even set any big goals for the year, but you probably should. So today's entire podcast, if you can call it that, is all about that. It's like sprinting to the end of the year. Like, what are we going to accomplish before the end of the year? In fact, so today's actual podcast is a recording of a webinar that I did just earlier tonight. Actually, I'm recording this intro just after I finished the actual webinar. I did it over on BiggerPockets. You know, every week I do these live webinars, and this was last night's, and it was so powerful. I thought you guys would all benefit by hearing it. So the webinar was called the 90-Day Challenge: How to Buy Your First or Next Rental Property or Flip or whatever. How to buy your first and next property before 2017 ends. So in the workshop, I go into a lot of detail on why this is the best time of the year to invest in real estate. Like, if you've been struggling to find deals, now is your chance. Also, we talk about how to make like a detailed plan to finish the year strong. That even goes down to like daily and weekly action plans. Like, we're going to go really, really deep into that. And we'll even spend some time analyzing, looking for and analyzing a real life deal, like right there live on the webinar. So of course it's not live for you, but it was live for everybody that was there. So now listen, you guys don't have the slides. Obviously you're listening to this on a podcast probably, unless you're watching this on YouTube. So I would encourage you to go to BiggerPockets.com/show 247. That's BiggerPockets.com/show 247. That's where you're going to find links to everything we talk about in the show. And the actual slide deck I use is there. And you can watch the YouTube version as well. So if you want to listen as we go through it, because the slides wouldn't make a whole lot of sense without, hearing what I'm talking about. So check that out, BiggerPockets.com/show 247. And whether you watch this or listen to it now, you can definitely get everything out of it just by listening. So don't think you have to have the slides, but it just might, be kind of cool. And yeah, I think you guys are going to love it. So bear with me. I do have a little bit of a cold though today, and the recording equipment for the webinar is a little different than podcasts. So it's not quite our standard, our level of technology, but whatever. I think you guys will like it a lot. So before we get to the actual recording, I think we need to hear today's quick tip. Oh, it's not the same without Josh, is it? All right, so today's quick tip is actually something kind of on a serious note. We've not done it before here on the podcast, but we thought it would be a really good time to introduce a little bit of give back from the BiggerPockets community. So Puerto Rico, as you all know, is struggling to recover from that Hurricane Maria that just hit us. There's been a lot of hurricanes lately, but the Hurricane Maria just devastated that island of Puerto Rico. And so our fellow American citizens need help over there. And BiggerPockets, of course, is all about giving back and helping one another. So we are asking that you guys join us in helping our friends over there recover from this devastating storm. So here's what we did. We set up a fundraising account where you can go and give, and 100% of the donations goes to the American Red Cross. And we've got a pretty ambitious goal of hitting $100,000 to donate to them. So we could use every single person. If every single person who listens to the podcast gave like 50 cents, we'd easily hit this. So go over there and donate. I know Josh Dorkin, my usual host here on the podcast, actually already offered to match the first $10,000 in donations. And despite what I usually say about Josh, he's actually a pretty good guy. So yeah, let's hit that $100,000 goal. I think it'll be a lot of fun and will help a lot of people. So to donate, go to BiggerPockets.com/give on your smartphone or on your computer or whatever. Again, BiggerPockets.com/give. All right, guys, let's jump into this. I'm going to go right into it. Again, this is a recording of the webinar that we did, the workshop. So again, go to BiggerPockets.com/show 247 to download the slides if you want to, or to watch the video version. But again, you'll get everything out of it that you need to just by listening as well. So with that, let's get to the workshop. Welcome, everybody, to the 90-Day Challenge: How to Buy Your First or Next Real Estate Deal by the end of 2017. My name is Brandon Turner. I'm the co-host of the BiggerPockets podcast. I'm an active real estate investor. You can find me all over Twitter and Instagram and everything. And tonight we're talking about something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. I'll explain probably more a little bit later on why this is. But I love the idea of a challenge, a sprint, right? So if you're watching this live, you're listening to this live, or at least sometime in the next few days, we've got roughly 90 days left in this year until the end of 2017. Now, look, I know a lot of you guys had big, big goals set up early on that you wanted to accomplish, and I realized it's like a couple weeks ago. Pardon me, I have a little bit of a cold today, so I hope you guys will bear with me. I realized this a couple of weeks ago that like there's not that much time left in the year, and I had some big goals set. In fact, I get a text message reminder every single day of my goals, and I was looking at them and I thought, man, I got a couple of goals I didn't hit yet. Man, I got to sprint to the end of the year to get this done. And so I put together today's this workshop, so to speak, because this is so important. So we're going to jump right into it right now. I've got a lot of stuff to go over. So anyway, a couple other, we'll get to the rest of the stuff later, the housekeeping stuff. But with that, so, all right, welcome everybody. Today's webinar should be a ton of fun. Well, not just fun. I want to try to keep it fun, but also like, I hope this will be super motivating, super encouraging, and super informational for you. I don't want you to walk out of this webinar the same person. In fact, I probably spent 20 hours on this one presentation because I believe that if you can just get this stuff that I'm talking about today, so much of your life will be easier. So much of your life will be better if you can just really nail down the stuff that I'm talking about today. And not just with real estate, with every area of your life. So hopefully this will be a life-changing webinar. At least that's my goal. So first of all, let's make sure you're in the right place. First of all, you are in the right place today if you are new to real estate and you know the power of it, but you haven't taken action yet. Or maybe you've been struggling to get your first deal, working at it, not seeing any results. So if you're brand new, you're going to get a lot out of today's webinar. But also, even if you're not brand new, maybe you purchased some real estate in the past, but the market has made it tough to get your next deal, right? Maybe it's a little bit harder than it used to be, and you're like, man, back in 2012, it was really easy. This is tough. This is for you today. You're going to love this stuff. And lastly, maybe you've got other goals that you want to get done by the end of 2017, and you need a little bit of a kick in the pants, right? And so if you fit any of those categories, you're going to get a lot out of today's webinar. So in the next 60 minutes, roughly, I actually don't know if it's going to be 60 minutes. Hopefully, I'll keep this to an hour. Might be slightly over. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. First of all, I've got some door prizes to hand out just for being here today. 4 separate things to give you guys just for being here. We're going to talk about 4 powerful reasons why Q4, the end of the year, is the best time to buy real estate. Like, this is my all-time favorite time to buy real estate, but only if you do this one thing correctly. So stay tuned for what that is. Then we're going to talk about how to create a goal for the end of the year if you don't have one, and if you do have one, we're going to talk about how to build a week-by-week, day-by-day plan of action to get there. Because let's be honest, right? It's not enough just to like want to accomplish a goal by the end of the year. You've actually got to have a plan to get there. Then we'll talk about how you can learn to build a real estate funnel that both you can work inside of and that works automatically like an autopilot. So there's numerous ways to build your funnel. We're going to talk about a number of them later. We'll also talk about a little bit today about how BiggerPockets itself can help propel you to greater success. I mean, the entire BiggerPockets social network, all 850,000 members, the podcasts, the webinars, the blogs, everything is designed to help you achieve your financial goals. Like whatever you're trying to get out of life, we're trying to help you get there through real estate investing. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that, how you can do that, and then we'll end this thing with some Q&A. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Does that sound good? All right. So first of all, question for you. I got 4 questions. Have you ever felt this way before? Have you ever felt like this before? Yeah, like this thought, because these thoughts are all things that people have said to me. I know that real estate investing can help give me financial freedom, the ability to quit my job, travel, spend time with family, etc. But I can't seem to make any progress getting there. I see other people doing it, but I'm still at the same spot I was when I started this journey. It's super frustrating. Does anybody identify with that? Say yes if that's you. All right, I can't actually hear you. A lot of people were like, he can hear me? No, I can't. But maybe that's you, right? Or what about this? Maybe you've said this. I have a full-time job and a family life when I'm not working. I have no time to go out and invest in real estate even though I want it. It's like the chicken and the egg problem. I need more time to buy real estate, and I won't get that free time until I buy more real estate. Anybody can identify with that? Say yes. All right. Number 3, the market is just, have you ever said this? The market is just too saturated. All the best deals are gone. No matter what I do, I can't seem to find anything worth buying. Maybe real estate investing just doesn't work anymore. You ever said that? You're just going to sit out and wait for the market to change? Yeah, right? And then lastly, I have no idea what I'm doing.
What's the first step when I don't know what I don't know? There's all these gurus out there telling me to do one thing or another, but how do I trust their advice? I feel stuck and I haven't even got started. Anybody feel that way? There are like a million get-rich-quick gurus out there telling you, like, buy my course for $997 and I'll teach you how to invest, right? I'll teach you the one way that you should do it, the one correct way. You guys, that's all bull, right? There is no one right way. Like, I'm not going to tell you this exactly is how you should invest in real estate to get your goals, because I don't know what your goals are, right? So I can't tell you where you're headed. And so hopefully today, though, I'm going to give you a framework, like an operating system in which you can think about real estate, in which you can think about how to get your goals. So that's kind of what we're doing today. So my goal today is very simple. I want to help you build oh, hi, Rosie. Oh, my little girl Rosie's hanging out with us a little bit tonight. So my goal tonight is to help you build a step-by-step plan to buy your first or next property by the end of the year. A lot of you are saying there's no way I can do that, and you know what? Maybe you won't, but I want to challenge you. That's what today's 90-day challenge is, to buy a property by the end of the year. I'm doing it. I'll tell you more about what I'm doing here in a little bit, but I'm doing it. I want you to see if you can do it as well. No matter how much experience, time, or money you currently have. So you might be brand new to this. I still believe you could buy a property by the end of this year. And in fact, like I said, this is the best time to do it. So that's why we're talking today about the 90-day challenge. What this is a 90-day sprint to the finish line, to the end of the year. And again, I love this stuff. So why 90 days? Before we get into the actual details of how to do this, why 90 days? Well, I want to introduce you to my friend Cyril, I don't know, Northcote Parkinson, 1909 to 1993. Yeah, my good buddy, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Cyril? I'm gonna go Cyril. He was a British naval historian and author. Anybody ever heard of him before? So you may not have heard of Mr. Parkinson here, but you've probably heard of Parkinson's Law. Well, Parkinson's Law is, taken straight from Wikipedia, is this. It's an adage that says that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. In other words, you ever notice, like, it's like, I got 2 weeks to finish this college paper when you were in college, right? I got 2 weeks to finish the paper. It always takes that much time to do it. Like, it generally always takes, like, the amount of work you have just expands to fill the time available, which is why I'm such a big fan of sprinting, of sprints, of short deadlines. In fact, there's a book called The 12-Week Year. Write that down. It's a really good book. The 12-Week Year. It's all about this idea of shorten your deadlines. Like, instead of thinking a year in advance, like, oh, I'm going to accomplish this in a year, think, what am I going to accomplish this quarter or these 12 weeks, right? Because when you shrink the amount of time, you can generally accomplish the same amount. So if I gave you 2 years to buy a real estate deal, you'd probably take 2 years to buy it. If I gave you 90 days, you'd probably buy it in 90 days, right? And so that's why I'm such a big fan of this 90-day thing, is because 90 days is not too short that you can't be done, but it's not too long that you're wasting time. So, I mean, the question is, how long does it really take to find and buy a real estate deal? I believe we can do it in 90 days. I'm going to do it. I'm committing to it. I'm promising it. I'm telling everybody I'm doing it. I'm buying a large property, something big, by the end of the year. Are you? All right, so some quick housekeeping rules from Grandma. This is not actually my grandma on the screen here, but, you know, it's a nice old lady. I actually did see my grandma yesterday. I'm actually in Minnesota right now with my family, like my family childhood home. I'm actually in my sister, like growing up, like where my sister's bedroom was. I'm actually hanging out in my sister's bedroom. Let me show you guys my face real quick. Hold on. Did the video work here? There we go. Hey, what's up? So anyway, I'm actually in like my sister's old bedroom, which this is not her bedroom anymore. But anyway, I'm at my parents' house visiting my family on a little family trip. So anyway, I got to see my grandma yesterday. I had a picture, but then I thought maybe my grandma, who's 92, wouldn't want me to put a picture up. So anyway, I'm turning video off, though, because you don't want to see this mug. All right, so quick housekeeping rules. Number 1, turn off all the distractions, right? So turn off all the distractions. If there's things like you got Facebook open and Twitter and you're talking to people and your kids are making noise, put everybody outside. Like, throw everything out the window. Right? Because this is important. If you truly believe that real estate has the power to change your life, then invest the next hour of your time in this, or maybe a little bit over an hour. We'll see. Just invest that time. Like, again, I know you can do this. It's only an hour, right? So Snapchat, all that stuff, turn it off. Grandma says so. Number 3, join the conversation. In fact, we actually created a hashtag just for this conversation today. So if you're actually live here in this webinar with me right now, over the question area, you can type stuff to me. Like Greg said, say hi to Mom, Pa Turner for me. That's funny. I will. But you can also go on social media, whether right now or in the future, and type hashtag BP90days, like on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and that way we kind of keep the conversation going there. Like, if you want to commit to this thing, let us know on the BP90 days. So that's kind of a way to continue the conversation. Next, I actually have a worksheet for today's class, an actual worksheet you can download. Go to biggerpockets.com/1004 worksheet, or if you're here on the webinar, go to the handout section inside GoToWebinar. You can actually download today's worksheet. That's not actually a picture of the worksheet. There's a different worksheet, but anyway, you'll download it there. All right, so again, biggerpockets.com/1004 worksheet. No spaces, no capitals, just 1004 worksheet. All right. Lastly, the last piece of quick housekeeping rules, get today's door prizes. Like I said, I want to promise you guys, I want to make sure I provide massive value up front, even if you had to like leave for some odd reason. You're like, I hate this webinar, I'm out of here, Brendan sucks. In that case, at least take this with you. So free gift. This is a guide that I wrote, I put together. It's called the Top 20 Real Estate Books Every Investor Should Read. It is a free guide. All it is this. There's a lot of real estate books out there, thousands of them, probably hundreds of thousands, right? Tons of real estate books. And I've read a ton of them. And there's a lot of really terrible ones, and there's some that are really, really, really good. So what I did is I put together a guide, a resource guide, that tells you what my favorite books are. Like just, hey, these are the books that matter, that I think matter the most. And this is, you know, if you're a flipper, read these ones. If you're a buy and hold, read these ones. And it kind of just categorizes them and tells you what books you should start with. So if you want to get that, just go to biggerpockets.com/books. That link is going to work forever. You don't have to do it like right now. Just write down that URL and don't distract yourself reading through it right now because it will distract you. So, all right, then I've got some other free gifts to hand out today. Some other cool things to hand out. So somebody said the sound is cracking. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Let me know. Will you let me know if you can hear me clearly okay? Like I always want to make sure if that's on my end or somebody else's end. So will you just let me know real quick right now in the little question area if you can hear me okay? All right, good. A lot of people are saying they can hear me okay. Okay, good. So if you're having trouble, make sure you shut down everything on your computer, your browser windows, everything except for this one browser tab open. It should work a little better. All right, thank you, everybody. So, all right, so the other gifts I'm going to give you guys a little bit later in today's webinar. First of all, I'll give you the entire slide deck from today's webinar. Every slide we're about to go over, I'll give you later. I'm also going to give you an ebook that I wrote called 7 Years to Seven-Figure Wealth, a roadmap to earning your first $1 million by investing in small multifamily properties. What this is just a short guide you can read in under an hour that shows you how a person could go from just starting out to $1 million in net worth in 7 years. It's a mathematical, like in year 1, if you did this, in year 1, if you did this, in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's pretty awesome. It explains something called cash flow recycling. If you've not heard of that, you're going to love it. So I'll give you that a little bit later. And lastly, of course, probably most importantly today, I'm going to give you an actually workbook, an entire workbook called the 90-Day Challenge Workbook. Plan, prepare, and purchase. And it's going to help you walk through it. It's an entire framework to walk through how to buy your first property in the next 90 days. It goes from a 5-year goal down to a 1-year goal, down to a 90-day goal, down to a weekly plan. We're going to work through that later, but I got a workbook. I'll give you that a little bit later in today's webinar as well. All right, we got to get going. So a little bit about us in case you have no idea who we are. We are BiggerPockets, the real estate investing social network, marketplace, and information hub. Man, what does that mean? That's kind of a corporate-y sounding thing. We've got blogs, forums, podcasts, webinars like this one, webinar replays, which if you're a pro member, you can watch unlimited webinar replays, analysis tools, you can analyze deals, networking, books, videos, and more, all designed to help you use real estate investing to achieve your goals. Like, we believe so strongly in real estate, not because of some book told us that. Like, I don't push real estate because theoretically it works. You know why I push real estate? Because it worked for me. Like, it changed my life. It gave me financial freedom when I was 27 years old. So again, my name is Brandon. For those who don't know me, I'm a real estate investor out of Grays Harbor County, Washington. I'm a landlord. I do a little bit of flipping. I'm in the middle of a couple of flips right now. I'm the co-host of the BiggerPockets podcast. I'm married to Heather. She's awesome. I'm a new dad. I've been a dad now for 16 months. Rosie is 16 months old. The author of several books, like the book on investing in real estate with no loan money down. And I'm a travel addict. I'm like always traveling somewhere. Like right now, I'm in Minnesota, and a couple days ago I was in New York, and I've been in California in a few days. So I love to travel, and because of real estate, I get to have this kind of that life that I wanted. Like I kind of designed the life that I wanted. I used real estate to get there, and I kind of want to show you guys how to do the same thing. So that's a picture of me, Heather, and Rosie there on the left side, and me and my little girl on the right there. So that's us. But here's the truth, guys. Even though like today I've got all these rental properties and I've got, I'm doing all these flips and stuff, I actually should not have succeeded. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like they think like I just naturally was probably born rich and just kind of figured this out really easily. But man, like I should not have succeeded. Like I was from a lower middle class family. Like my dad's a meat cutter. My mom did in-home daycare. Like I had no money when I started, just a ton of college debt and no experience. I didn't even know how to use a hammer. Like literally, I wouldn't even know. Like, I didn't know anything about it. And everyone kept telling me I should not get into real estate. They're like, you really like shouldn't do this. This is how everybody loses money, and you're just not cut out for it. Like I got a lot of negativity when I jumped into it, and then I made a ton of mistakes. So like I was proving them all right over and over and over. Like I once bought this house. I tried to flip it. I ended up spending 2 years of my life working on it. 2 years, like 1 year full time, and then 1 year trying to sell it. I ended up losing 10 grand on that deal, and like 2 years of my life, like just down the drain. Like that sucked, right? But then like I discovered like I would say just in the past like 4 or 5 years, I discovered what I was doing wrong. Like I was approaching my real estate. Listen close here. If you're like half paying attention, listen to this, because this might like affect a lot of you. So I was approaching real estate. I approach it with real estate the way that most of us approach fitness. The way most of us approach fitness. And so how do we approach fitness, right? It's like I'm going to go to the gym one day, and I'm going to try to eat healthy once, and I'm going to switch diets to try to do this thing. And I'm going to go to the gym again maybe, and then one day I'm going to get really ambitious, and for a week straight, I'm going to go jog, right? And then I stop again, and then I get P90X. I get sold on some infomercial for P90X. I go do that for a few days. Then I stop again, then I switch diets. Anybody can identify with that? Like anybody else struggle with that their whole life, like trying to get in shape? Like, I mean, not like I've done it with that. I've done it with real estate too. Like it's the same thing. And so like when I realized that's how I was approaching my fitness, why do you think I wasn't getting in shape? Because I wasn't consistent, right? I didn't have a process. I didn't treat it as serious as I should have. I didn't treat it like I didn't. Oh, that's funny. I said serious, and my phone popped up because she thought I said Siri. That's funny. Anyway, so like I didn't treat it like a fitness expert would, right? I took this picture of myself just before this. I'm totally kidding. Stock photo, but like that's how I wanted to treat my real estate. The way that fitness enthusiasts treat their fitness as a daily thing. And since then, since that kind of revelation in my life, like since then, like everything's changed. So like I started applying the same kind of rigid philosophy that people apply to fitness to real estate, like working on it every day a little bit. And I'll explain more about what I mean by that later. But like here's an example of a couple things. So I bought this fourplex for my little girl Rosie the week she was born. This thing cash flows $1,000 a month. I bought a fiveplex, this big green monster of a fiveplex. I bought that thing making $1,100 a month in cash flow. And that's after everything's been paid. Got this little guy, this duplex I bought just 2 weeks ago? I think I closed on this thing 2 weeks ago. And this guy is going to be cash flowing $800 a month. And I just bought it like 2 weeks ago in this market where everyone's saying you can't do it, right? Now, how do I do it? It's because I started to treat my business differently. And that's what we're talking about today. So understand, I don't show all these examples of some of my good deals to brag to you and say, look how good I am, right? Because there's a lot of people who are way smarter at this than I am. In fact, we've interviewed 240 some people on the BiggerPockets podcast, and like every single one of them blows me out of the water. But I do this to show you that an average person like me, who is not super smart, not super ambitious, an average person like me, it doesn't take that many properties to achieve financial freedom. It just takes the right ones. Like when you focus on getting the best deals and like aligning your deal hunt with your goals, like amazing things can happen faster than you ever thought possible. All right, so let's get into the beginning of the worksheet. By the way, go to biggerpockets.com/1004 worksheet to get today's worksheet. Let me just check that link and make sure that's working. 1004 worksheet. Let's check that real quick. Okay, hold on. I'm going to give them the new link for the worksheet. 1 second. Oh, maybe that link's not working yet. Hold on. Okay, well, if it wasn't working, if you're watching this on GoToWebinar anyway, just go to the little handout section. So, but all right. So, where were we at? I got it back in. All right. Okay. So, if you're on your worksheet, the first kind of section here is talking about why is now the best time of the year to invest in real estate. So let's go into that. Let's go into why is now the best time of the year to invest in real estate. First of all, banks and other lenders are looking to unload their holdings by the end of the year. This is huge. So now, granted, there are not as many repos as there was 4 years ago, right? But if you're looking to buy like bank repossessed properties, which are generally the cheaper type of properties out there, a lot of like foreclosures, banks and lenders are looking to unload their holdings by the end of the year. They'll often take a little bit less at this time of year. Next, most casual investors, which is 90% of the people out there, people who were like me before I got serious, they've already checked out. Like, they're done. They're like, it's the holiday season coming up. I better slow down my investing. Right? Like, a lot of them do that. They just kind of like check out for the holiday season. I'm not checked out. I'm ramping up. Number 3, most retail buyers, meaning, John and Jane home buyer, they've stopped shopping for their home. School season kicked in. They're done shopping. And basically, the market tends to cool with the weather. It happens all over the country every year. The market tends to cool down when the weather changes. People aren't as ambitious to go and look for properties when it's raining and cold and snowy, right? So the next 3 months are an awesome time to invest in real estate. And last, Parkinson's Law. Remember, we talked about that earlier. Like, work expands to the time you give it. So when we shorten the deadline, like, hey, end of the year is coming. In fact, do you guys know the best quarter of the year for most salespeople? If you're a sales guy out there, what's the best quarter of the year? It's always the last quarter. You know why? Because they've got that big goal. I gotta get my quota by the end of the year. Everyone does it. They try to shoot by the end of the year. But understand this. This is key here. It's only a good time to invest if you do this one thing. What is that? Take action, right? Deals are not falling in your lap anymore. This is not 2012. You can't just pick up a rock and throw it in any direction and hit a foreclosure and buy it for half the price, right? This is not the good old days of 2012, but that's okay. In fact, because it's a lot harder to find deals, it takes out a lot of the people who aren't serious. The ones who are serious are finding deals. In fact, every single week on the BiggerPockets podcast, we're talking to investors and they're getting deals. But you know what? Like, we interviewed Grant Cardone recently. His show's coming out here in a few weeks. And he said, and he did that episode with him. It's a new episode. In that episode, he said, what was the word? He said, amateur hour is over. The pros are getting the deals now, right? Amateur hour is over. So if you want to succeed, if you want it in this 90-day challenge, you want to accomplish your goal and buy a deal or 2 or 10 or whatever your goal is, you've got to treat this like a professional. Amateur hour is over. Another great quote. I love this one. I love reading this thing. Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Jim Rohn, who's a fantastic speaker, said that. I'm going to say that again because this is so important. If you're half listening, listen close to this. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. In other words, deals are not falling in your lap. You got to fight for them. You got to work for it. So here's what I want to do. We're going to do a little bit of audience participation at this point. Could you guys do me a favor? I want every single person to shout out right now in the little question area or on social media or whatever using hashtag BP, BP 90 days. I think is what it was. Now I have to go back and look because now I'm going to tell you the wrong one. What was it? It was hashtag BP 90 days. What is your goal? What is your end of the year goal? What is your end of the year goal? What do you want to get accomplished by the end of 2017 in 90 days from now? Or if you're, for some reason, you're like a pro member watching this in the way future, because you can watch webinar replays, what is your goal in the next 90 days? I'm going to read off a couple of them. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Blake Kalman said start a job as an agent. Suzanne Smith said to purchase my first property. Geraldine said to buy my first cash flowing property. Marco said first rento. David Mason said buy a fourplex. Amy said my first real estate. Michael Porsche said to buy 2 homes and get married. Well, good luck with that. That's awesome. Joe said purchase 2 more flips and a buy and hold. Joven said 2 flip deals. Logan buy a 2 to 4 unit property. I love it. All right, that's good. You guys, that's awesome. I love to read this stuff. That's cool. I'll tell you what my goal is. I'm in the middle of a 1031 exchange right now, which means I sold a property. I just sold my 24 unit apartment building. And I have to buy another property worth at least $875,000 in the next 90 days. I have to. Now, I won't go to the specifics of why I have to, but from a tax standpoint, I don't have an option. I'm going to do it, right? I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this. I wake up in the morning thinking about it. I go to bed thinking about it. I think about it all day. I have to do it, and I will do it. But remember this. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish, right? So a lot of you guys have some really good things that you want to get accomplished right now, right? Buy property, buy a bunch of properties. What's this one? Nicole said to buy 5 to 12 more doors. That's awesome. Michael said to buy a 3 unit to house hack in. I love that. Brianna, buy a fourplex. Right? That's all awesome, right? But it's worthless without a plan. Otherwise, it's just a wish. Like, I want to lose weight, right? I want to lose weight. How many of you guys know somebody right now, maybe it's you, that wants to lose weight before the end of the year? And then let's say your sister says she wants to lose weight, or your brother, or your friend, and you go to their house and they're like eating nachos, watching Dancing with the Stars, right? Like every night, every single night. Like they don't do anything, but they sit there and watch TV every night, eating nachos. Are you gonna believe them? Are they really trying to lose that weight by the end of the year? Of course not, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. And so if you want to accomplish something, set a plan. And again, that's what today is all about. The fact that you're here tells me that that's going to happen. So what does that look like? What does a plan look like? Well, for real estate investors, what I believe is the strongest plan in the world is called the LAPS system, LAPS. I'm going to walk through right now what that is and explain it. And this is not something that I just invented. I didn't invent, like, this isn't like, hey, some super secret new thing that if you pay me $9,997, I'll give you access to. No, that's not what this is. This is like real. This is how every single investor I know invests, whether they know it or not. Everybody follows a system, just some treat it casually and some treat it very professionally. Let me explain what I mean. The LAP system is based on this premise that every property has a home run number. Now listen closely here. If you're like half paying attention again, listen close. Every property has a home run number, a number that makes it a home run deal, right? So every property out there, every house you see, every multifamily, every commercial, every vacant lot, every property has a number, a price that you could pay that would make it a good deal. Now, yes, I will admit some deals are so bad that you have to get paid to buy the deal, right? Like I found a house one time, I did the numbers, I ran the numbers, and like in order for it to work out, they'd have to pay me 20 grand. But still, that's a number, right? So this isn't really a theory. This is just like fact. Every property has a number. Like even the worst property in the world, somebody could pay you millions of dollars to buy it, and then you could just ignore it, right? Every property has a number. Once you understand that little fact, real estate gets a whole lot easier because you realize it takes all the emotion out of it. Like your job as an investor is not to convince somebody to sell you their house or to convince somebody to do anything. Your job is simply to find the number that works and then pursue it. And that's what the LAP system is all about. Again, this is not some new concept. Everybody does it. I just put a name to it so that we can remember it. LAPS, L-A-P-S. This is what LAPS stands for. L stands for leads, L-E-A-D-S, leads. You have to get leads coming in. Now, again, everybody does this. Now, maybe the lead is simply my real estate agent called me up and said, hey, come look at this house, right? That's a lead. Maybe you're doing direct mail marketing. Maybe you're doing driving for dollars. Maybe you're doing ads on Craigslist. Maybe you're doing an ad in the newspaper. Maybe you're putting a billboard on the side of the freeway. Maybe you're doing one of a million different options, right? There's a lot of ways to get leads. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. In fact, I'll give you a few really good ways to set up automatic lead generation. I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but you got to get leads coming in. Then you got to analyze the leads, right? You got to look at them and decide, is this something I'm going to pursue or not? Now, analysis comes in a couple forms. There's like quick and dirty, which is, this analysis is tells me, let's say a deal comes up and it's in a bad neighborhood. You say, no, I don't want that. Okay, well, that's an analysis, right? You just analyze that deal and you said, no, I won't buy in that neighborhood. Fine. And then other analyses, is that a word? Analysis? Other analyses, that feels weird to say, are more in depth. You actually go through and look at what is the cash flow? What is the cash on cash return? What is my overall return on investment? What kind of cap rate am I dealing with here, right? Things like that. That's a more detailed analysis. We'll do one of those later. I'll show you how to analyze a deal in 5 minutes. That's going to be a lot of fun. Then you got to propose. Like drop down on one knee and propose, right? Hopefully not on one knee. Unless you're that guy getting married, which is awesome. In other words, you have to make an offer. Now, sometimes those offers are very professional, and you write it up with a real estate agent and you submit it. But sometimes they're just like a casual conversation with a seller, right? But either way, if you don't ever ask, you're never going to get it, right? Like if you don't ever ask out your girl, you're never going to date her, right? You can't date a girl without asking her out at first, right? Or maybe she asks you out. But you have to do this step. Now, again, it doesn't have to always be official, but every deal you want to buy, you have to propose something. And then lastly, you get success with some of them, right? Some of the deals that you try to go after, that you propose, or also you could say pursue. That's another P word that would fit there. Once in a while, you're going to get one. So let me backtrack. So let's say somebody tells me I can't find any deals. I'm going to say, well, how many did you offer on? How many did you pursue this week? Well, I didn't pursue any. Okay, well, how many did you analyze? Well, I didn't analyze any. Well, how many leads did you get? Well, I didn't get any. You guys see the problem there? It's like somebody saying, "Hey, I didn't lose any weight this week." Okay, well, how many calories? Like, what was your calorie count look like? Oh, I wasn't tracking that. Okay, well, how many times do you go to the gym? What's a gym? Right? Like, it's ludicrous but this is how the casual investors treat their investments all the time. Is they do nothing. They don't get leads. They don't analyze. They don't propose. They don't succeed. But if you follow these same 4 steps, you're going to find success. Like you will find success. This is how everybody does it that's successful. Just some people do it with more intentionality, with more purpose, and some don't. Here's a real life example of how I used this lapse system to get myself a deal. Like I told you earlier, I bought a property for my little girl Rosie. It was a fourplex. I'm gonna tell you that story real quickly, how I got that using this funnel. First of all, I sent out direct mail marketing letters. I actually sent out some letters, and remind me later, and I'll actually tell you where you can go find the actual letter that I sent out. But I sent out letters. I sent 300 of them. Now, out of those 300, I received back about 40 phone calls. Okay, we following. So 300 leads turned into 40 phone calls. Now, you could call those 40 phone calls leads, and like better leads or whatever, but they were still all leads. So I got 40 phone calls. Then I analyzed all of those 40. Now, most of them were tire kickers or were in neighborhoods that I didn't want to buy in. However, out of those 40, there was 12 of them. There were 12 of them that I was interested in. That I said, you know what? I'm going to propose to the seller. I'm going to propose a number that makes it work for me. And out of those 12 that I proposed or made an offer on, I received one success, one yes. So my funnel was 300 down to 40, down to 12, down to 1. That was just one of my funnels for one simple deal, right? And it worked. Now, what was I lucky? Sure, a lot of people send a lot more than 300 letters but never get a deal, right? But it's still a funnel. You'll never get anything if you don't ever get leads, don't analyze, don't propose, and don't succeed. And so that one deal, which cost me, what, $300 to send out, ended up making me now $1,000 a month in cash flow. It's also going to pay my entire daughter's college education because I put it on a 15-year mortgage. So when she's 16, it'll be paid off, and it'll be worth probably $250,000. She can use that for whatever she wants, college, start a business, invest in her own real estate, and I get to train her on how to be a real estate investor for the next 15 years of her life, or forever, hopefully. Right? So like all of that came because of one simple lapse funnel. I got leads, I analyzed them or proposed them, and I got one success. So, and again, I'm not the only one. Here's a good example. My buddy Lance Wakefield, he was on episode 236 of the BiggerPockets podcast just a few months ago. This guy, he had nothing. Like 18 months ago, he was broke. He tells the story on the podcast. You can go listen to it. But also, he sent me an email. He basically said this. He's like, I thought I would write to you today and tell you about the impact that BiggerPockets has had on my life and my family's life. A year ago today, I closed my first deal, and since that time, my life has been completely changed. I own or have contracted 26 units or sites to build. I've completed 8 flips. I have wholesaled 41 deals. I have participated in completing 34 retail transactions. A year ago today, I was broke. I just turned 29. We couldn't even afford a birthday present for me. Now we have hundreds of thousands in the bank, more coming in equity, and more coming in equity in our home, thousands coming in every month from rental income. You guys, like, this is awesome, right? Now, yeah, Lance Wakefield, was he special? Well, I mean, like, he did a really good job. I would say these results are not typical, right? Most people come to BiggerPockets. They learn a little bit. They maybe send out one thing of direct mail, or they might call a real estate agent once. They go to a couple of webinars, they listen to a podcast, and then they stop, right? That's typical. That's what most people do. Now, maybe you're like looking at yourself feeling kind of bad right now because you're like, oh man, I've been doing that for the last 2 years. I've not taken action, right? But don't feel bad on yourself. Like, it's a whole new day. We got 90 days. It's a sprint now, right? Look, if Lance can do it, if I can do it, if every podcast guest we can do it, does the same thing. They get leads, they analyze those leads, they make offers, and they get some successes. You can do it as well. So my buddy Hal Elrod, who wrote The Miracle Morning, says, every result that you desire is preceded by a process that is required to produce the result. When you define your process and commit to it for an extended period of time, the results take care of themselves. I'm going to read that again, but listen really closely, guys. This is probably one of the most impactful quotes I heard in the last 10 years of my life. Like, this probably more than anything else has defined my success in a lot of areas. So listen really closely to this. Every result that you desire is preceded by a process that is required to produce the result. When you define your process and commit to it for an extended period of time, the results take care of themselves. In other words, you guys, let's say your goal, again, let's go back to the weight loss thing because it's just so synonymous with real estate. Your goal is to lose 20 pounds. You could put a picture on the wall of a guy who weighs less than 20 pounds less than you. That's not going to do anything. You could say affirmations every day. That's not going to get you there, right? You could tell everybody in the world that you're going to lose 20 pounds. That's not going to get you there. You know what's going to get you there? A process that you commit to. What would be that process for losing weight? It would be diet and exercise, right? We all know that. How many of us do that? So why do I keep talking about fitness? Because it's so closely related to real estate. Every result, I'll read it one last time, every result you desire is preceded by a process that is required. So what's the process required to produce results with real estate investing? What can we stick to on a day-to-day basis that the results will just take care of themselves? You probably guessed it, the lapse funnel, right? When we just commit to that process of getting leads, analyzing them, making offers, and getting them accepted, you're going to find success eventually. The results take care of themselves. Real estate is a numbers game. So what's that process look like? Now, again, maybe you're not quite ready yet for that, right? Maybe you need to educate yourself. So in that case, maybe your process is I'm going to listen to 1 hour of the BiggerPockets podcast every day, or I'm going to go to the library and get some real estate books from the library. I'm going to read 1 book every week. Or maybe your process is I'm going to go to local real estate clubs every week in my city, find a local meetup, and go hang out with investors so I can find people to partner with, right? I don't know your process, but I can tell you my process. I'm getting leads, I'm analyzing them, making offers, I'm going to get some accepted. So let's break that down a little bit. How are you going to generate your leads? How are you going to generate your leads? Now, there's a lot of ways to generate leads. We talked about them earlier. I mentioned a few, driving for dollars. I talked about direct mail marketing, using a real estate agent. I still get most of my deals, guys, on the MLS. Where like the MLS is where all the other real estate agents put their deals. Like if you go to like Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia.com, Redfin.com, that's basically the MLS. That's a horrible explanation of it, but for today's purposes, that's close enough. So like deals that other agents are selling, I still get a lot of them that way. So how are you going to generate those leads? Define that. Write that down. And what is your next actionable step to do that? What do you actually have to do next? Next, how many deals are you going to analyze, like per month or per week or per day? Like, hey, I'm going to generate leads by looking on the MLS and getting my real estate agent to set me up with alerts. Okay, how many deals am I going to analyze? I'm going to analyze 1 deal per day. That's my goal, 1 deal per day. And how many offers am I going to make? I'm going to make an offer once per week. Listen, guys, listen close to that. If you analyzed 1 deal every day, and if you made 1 offer per week, do you think you'll eventually get a deal? No guarantee, right? But I'd say it's a lot better chance than if you don't do any of that, right? And so I can tell you personally, guys, that's what I'm doing. I have a goal for the next 90 days. My process will be very simple. I'm going to analyze 1 deal every day. I'm going to make 1 offer a week. And that is my 90-day challenge to myself. Now, what's your process? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly. But that's what the 90-day challenge is all about. It's this is how I define it. The 90-day challenge is, will you work on your real estate process for 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 90 days. Look, I'm not a tyrant here. I'm not saying you have to work on your business 7 days a week. Family is important. In fact, family is more important. But that's also why I work so hard in real estate, because I want to spend time with my family, with my little girl. I want to watch her learn how to walk and talk and go on vacation with her and teach her how to surf. And I want to do all those things, right? But I also want to invest in real estate. So all I recommend is, can you work on your real estate business just a few minutes a day? Remember earlier we talked about I've struggled with losing weight in the past, right? Because I wanted to lose weight, but I'd go to the gym and then I wouldn't go again for 2 weeks, and then I'd go on and another 2 weeks later I'd go back maybe, or maybe then I'd go and run for a couple of days and then I would stop, right? Is that more effective than every day just eating healthy and working out for 15 minutes? Right? You guys know what I'm saying here? Does that make sense? Say yes if you know what I mean. All right. Like if you just work consistently on it's just tortoise and the hare stuff, right? We all know this. We all know this. Raise your hand if you know this, right? We all know it. We just don't do it. We let tons of dead space in between our action steps. But if you want to get things accomplished quickly, if you want to use Parkinson's law to its advantage, just work on your business every single day. Now, a lot of you are saying, but Brandon, I can't analyze a deal in 15 minutes a day. Hang tight, we'll do that. But first, I want to talk about the 2 biggest objections people have. There are 2 major objections everybody has. Number 1, how do I get leads to analyze? I don't have any leads. I can't do it. I can't find any good deals in my area. Well, you got to get some leads coming in. So first of all, this is just a few ways to get leads. Number 1, Call up your real estate agent. If you don't have one, go on Facebook and find one. Like, they're all over the place. Ask for recommendations from family and friends. Get one. Then set up automatic email alerts with your real estate agent right now. Okay, wait till the end of this webinar, but call them tonight or tomorrow and set up automatic email alerts so that every day leads are coming into your inbox. How do you get a pipeline that works automatically? I just told you. So, for example, let's say I wanted to buy a single family house and I wanted to buy it in the town of North Branch. North Branch is where my parents live in Minnesota. That's where I'm at right now. I'm going to call up and I'm going to find an agent in this area. I'm going to ask my parents for a recommendation. In fact, they probably recommend Greg Crowell, who's an agent that they used. And I talked to Greg. I said, Greg, can you set me up with automatic email alerts for every house that comes on the market that's under $150,000 because I'm looking for cheaper houses. Okay, so he would set me up with that. And then every time a new deal comes in, it would just end up in my inbox. I can go analyze it. But that's not the only way to get deals. That's just one simple way that you guys can all take action on. In fact, every person here right now should be doing. But here's a few more things. Send X amount of direct mail marketing every month. Maybe you set a goal. Hey, I'm going to send 500 letters every month until I get a deal. That could be a good idea, right? Direct mail marketing still works. People are still getting deals using direct mail marketing. And again, remind me later in this webinar, I'll give you guys my exact letter that I use. Next, maybe just every day go on redfin.com or realtor.com or zillow.com or craigslist.com or trulia.com or loopnet.com or whatever. There's a ton of marketplaces where you can find deals. In fact, did you guys know biggerpockets.com/marketplace has deals? In fact, more and more I'm hearing all the time from BiggerPockets members who are saying, hey, I just bought my first deal. I found it on the BiggerPockets marketplace. It's pretty awesome. You guys got to check that out. Also, you can drive for dollars. It means get in your car and drive around and look for leads, like look for vacant houses. The other day, Rosie, my little girl, needed to nap, and my wife needed a break. And so I said, hey, I'll just take Rosie. We'll drive around, and I'll let her sleep in the back while I'm driving around. So we drove around for 1 hour while Rosie napped, and I found 22 vacant houses in the best town in my area. The best town in my area. I drove around, found 22 vacant houses. So yesterday or 2 days ago, we sent out 22 letters to those people. So now I'm just waiting on phone calls. Will I get one? I don't know. But I'm not going to get it without trying, right? And when I get back home again, guess what I'm going to do when Rosie needs the nap again? I'm going to go drive again and look for vacant houses. I'm going to send them letters because that's a good way to find deals. It's called driving for dollars. Or maybe something more creative. In fact, there's a lot of ways to find leads. This is just a small smidget of it. If you want to know more about getting leads, there's a ton of blog posts, a ton of forum posts on BiggerPockets all about that. Like, I mean, we talk about it all the time. I also did a webinar a few weeks ago called How to Find Incredible Real Estate Deals Even in a Competitive Market. If you are a pro member, you should definitely become a pro member if you're not. But if you are a pro member, you can watch that webinar replay in the pro replay room. And if you're not a pro member yet, I actually have a discount code I'll give you later as kind of a reward for sticking through the entire webinar. So hang tight for that. All right, the next question people say, objection, they say, I don't have any money, Brandon. I can't invest in real estate. I'm not rich. I'm not loaded. Right? Well, listen up, guys. I'm telling you a very, very quick story. About 7 years ago, and I was getting, like, you know, I was in this for a couple of years, I decided to buy a multifamily property. One of my first. It was a triplex. It came on the market. I jumped at it. I really wanted this multi. It was a triplex, and I really, really wanted it. But there was a problem. I was like stupid broke. Like, not just broke, but I was stupid broke. You guys know what I mean? Right? Like I was like so broke. I had like credit card debt, and I was owed a bunch of stuff, and like it was hard. I was trying to flip houses, and it wasn't working very well because the market was crashing, and I wanted this triplex because the numbers worked so good, and I made a home run offer. In other words, I made an offer that would be a home run deal if I got it accepted, and they accepted it, and it was awesome, and I couldn't buy it. So you know what I did? I gave up. I turned on the TV, and I was watching some dancing program. I'm just kidding. No, what I did is I asked myself the question, how do I do this? If I can't do it alone, how do I do it? And I found a partner. I found somebody else who thought real estate was cool. Here's a little hint, guys. This is very important. If you're half listening, listen closer here. This is probably the most important thing I'll say all day. Everybody wants to invest in real estate. Everybody. Okay, 99% of the population. If you ask anybody on the street, hey, do you want to invest in real estate someday? What do you think they'll say? Yes. Everybody knows this is the best way to achieve financial freedom. Everybody knows it, but most people are too busy or too lazy to do it. So what did I do? I went and found somebody who was too busy. Definitely not too lazy. I found a couple who was awesome, but they worked like all the time, but they had some money. So we partnered up. We split it 50-50. Remember what I always say, 50% of a great deal is better than 100% of nothing. So I partnered up, and every single year now, each of us get a check for somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000. Each of us, each partner, get a check for $4,000 to $6,000. Do you know how much money I put into that deal? Nothing. $0 in that deal. But you know what? I'm getting $4,000 to $6,000 every year, depending on the how many expenses we had. That's pretty awesome, right? All right, next, house hacking. You can do that often if you want to live in the property. House hacking can be a great way to get with no and low money down, or private lending. I do a lot of that. In fact, that property I bought for Rosie, my little girl Rosie, that fourplex. Yeah, I use private lending. In fact, I found a private lender on BiggerPockets. I built a relationship on BP with somebody, and they funded the deal. In fact, they funded the entire purchase price and a huge chunk of the repair costs, which was awesome. Or what about something else? Are there any other creative strategies you can think of for investing in real estate with no money? There's a ton. Things like lease options, things like seller financing, things like subject to, things like, I don't know, there's a ton of stuff. Equity lines of credit, home equity loans. Anyway, there's a ton of strategy. In fact, I wrote an entire book on that. It's called The Book on Investing in Real Estate with No and Low Money Down. Anybody read that? If you've read that before, let me know in the questionnaire. I just want to give you a shout out because you're awesome. So there's a lot of stuff. Also, there's a ton of articles on BP. There's articles up the wazoo about investing with no money down. There's forum posts on it all the time. So do some research if that's what you need to do. If that's your process, read one blog post a day, every day for the next 90 days on creative investing. Or read my book on it. Or I did a webinar a couple weeks ago called, I think this is like a month ago now, called My 3 Favorite Strategies for Buying Real Estate Without a Lot of Cash. So if you want to know more about how I do it, especially about BRRRR investing, BRRRR, that's my favorite strategy in the world, BRRRR investing, I did an entire webinar. So if you're a pro member, watch that. All right, so at this point, I want to actually call out all of you guys, everybody listening to this webinar right now. Now, by the way, we're not quite done. I am going to go a little bit over. I can tell I still have a number of slides to get through. So hopefully you guys are good with hanging around for another like 25 minutes or so is my guess. But I kind of want to summarize where we're at so far. First of all, are you in? Will you commit to 5 days a week for the rest of the year, working on your business 15 minutes a day? Remember, consistency is more important than just one big action here and there. Will you commit to analyzing one deal a day like I'm going to do? Maybe your process is different, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty similar. Analyze one deal a day and make one offer a week. And again, it doesn't have to be an official offer. It can be just a conversation with a seller, right? Are you in? If you're in, I want you to do me a favor right now, either in the question area over here, say I'm in. Just I'm in. I''M, I'm in. Daniel, Janine, Armin, Christine, Eddie, whoa, and tons more coming in. Right? Who's in, right? This is exciting stuff. Now, if you're not watching this right now on the webinar, if you're like listening to it or whatever, I want you to go on social media and let me know. Hit up at BiggerPockets, either on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, at BiggerPockets, and just let us know I'm in using hashtag BP90days. BP90days. That's how we'll make sure we know that it's you. Hit us up there. You can hit me up at Beardy Brandon on Instagram. I'm a huge Instagram guy. Hit me up there. Let me know who's in. And also, take a picture of the screenshot, or I'll give you this later. In fact, maybe I can even do it right now. I wonder if I can hand this out right now. I was actually going to drop that little image in there. You can even share that image that I just showed you, that image on your screen. Share that on your page. Yeah, okay, I can actually do that. Hold on. I'm going to put it here in this thing right here. All right, it should be in the little handout section here, I think, a little picture you can download. So go ahead and share that on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever that you use, and let us know. Tag us BP, hashtag BP90days. I want to know who's all in this thing. Because again, I want you to commit to it. I want you to say, yo, you know what? I'm in. I'm really in. I'm really doing this. And a lot of you are saying, well, I don't actually have to use the words. I don't have to say anything. Say something. Tell somebody, right? Are you committed or not? Right? Let's commit to this stuff. By the way, there's a ton of people saying I'm in right now, like hundreds of them. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. I'm in. Tom Mole said, or Mole said, I don't know how to Instagram. It's all right, Tom. You know how to do other cool stuff, I'm sure. Tom's a good guy. Everybody follow Tom. All right, good. You guys are awesome. Whoa, you guys, Frank said, I'm in. I've already done 8 deals in the last 90 days. Frank, I want to know what your goal is going forward. That's awesome, guys. All right, so we're going to keep going. So here, I want to put all of this together. Everything we've talked about so far, I want to put together by doing a real-life deal. You guys ready for this? A real-life deal. So what I'm going to go actually share my screen with you Now, if you're like listening to this on a phone or something like that and you can't actually see my screen, I'll try to talk through what I'm doing as well as possible. But I'm going to show you guys how I find deals, like one way to find deals. I'm going to analyze it, and we're going to do the whole thing quickly, like right now. You guys with me? Does that sound like fun? All righty, let's go. Here we go. Let's see. How do I share my screen? Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, preview, Google Chrome. Okay. All right, let's make sure. You guys, let me know. Somebody let me know right now. Can you see? Ariana said, my boyfriend is yelling, he's in, along with 3 little ones chanting the same. That's awesome. All right. Okay, good. You see it. So here's the idea. So I'm going to start on Realtor.com. Now, I thought it'd be fun today. Normally, I look for properties in my own area. But being that I'm on vacation right now and I'm hanging out with my family in North Branch, Minnesota, I thought, what if I had to go buy in a brand new place? Brand new place. So I'm going to go ahead and search North Branch, Minnesota. Now, I did this like 10 minutes before the webinar started today, just so we wouldn't take as much time to analyze this. But check this out. So here's what I did. I went to Realtor.com. It's not the only site to go to. It's just one that I happen to like. I went to Realtor.com and I looked and I searched and I found this house right here. There's a house here. I typed in 55056. I found the cheapest house in the area is $130,000. Now a lot of you are saying, but I can't find a house for $130,000. I quit. I'm going to go watch some TV. Calm down. Calm down. Real estate works in every market. You can find a millionaire in every single market in America who became a millionaire from real estate in your market, right? It might be a little different than what you're seeing here in my area or here in my parents' area or whatever, but you can find a deal anywhere. So this just happens to be here. North Ranch goes from $130,000 is the cheapest house, and the most expensive is $750,000. So that's kind of the range we're looking, but I wanted to find the cheapest house, and I looked and I found this guy right here. 38-something Conjure Circle, North Branch. It says it needs a little bit of work. I flipped through the pictures. You know, it just looks like it needs a little bit of painting on the outside. The kitchen could use a little bit of an uptick, but it doesn't actually look that bad. I mean, other than just like being a little bit dirty, I'd probably paint the entire thing, probably, you know, do a little bit of work here and there, but it doesn't look like it needs a ton. It's got a nice furnace, got a water heater. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot house. So, stop seeing the ad. I don't want to see the ads. All right. So from here, virtual reality tour, really? Fancy. Oh, wow, look at that. Fancy little tour. All right, well, whatever. So I want to analyze this deal. Does that sound good to you guys? Let's figure out what number makes sense for me to offer on this property. What number makes sense? So to do that, I'm going to go over here to the BiggerPockets, BiggerPockets.com/analysis. BiggerPockets.com/analysis. Here we go. All right, so this is where I analyze deals. Now, there's multiple ways to analyze deals, right? You can do it by hand if you want to. I don't recommend it because there's a lot of little nuances that you might screw up, and then, you know, a small mistake with real estate can cost you tens of thousands of dollars, right? Also, it's hard to keep track of all the deals you analyze. You could also use like a spreadsheet. I used to do that, guys, but I no longer use spreadsheets to analyze most deals, simply for a couple reasons. One, it was hard to keep myself organized. Two, it was very easy to make mistakes. Look, I'm not that smart of a guy. I don't know how to use all the fancy functionality in Excel, and so I make a lot of mistakes when I'm on a spreadsheet. I accidentally change one formula, and then like something happens, and then I might buy a bad deal. In fact, one time remember that deal I told you earlier I spent 2 years of my life on? Yeah, use a spreadsheet for that. So I stopped. So the third way I recommend today, and this is what I personally do, is we actually built calculators on BiggerPockets designed for investors and designed to be able to go to a lender or an agent or a partner and show them the deal. So that's what I use. That's what I'm going to use today. Again, if you are, whatever you do, just make sure you analyze your deals. But I love the BP calculator. So let me do this. We've got 4 main calculators right now. Another one coming very soon. Should be here in the next month. But we got the fix and flip calculator, the rental property calculator, the BRRRR calculator, and the wholesaling calculator. So those are the 4 calculators we got. I'm going to go ahead and on this one, and I'm going to look at this from a rental property standpoint. Now, if this was a flip, I'd use a flip calculator. And if it was a big fixer-upper, I'd probably use it as a BRRRR if it was a rental that I was going to fix up a lot. Or if I was going to wholesale, I'd use a wholesaling calculator. I'm just going to go ahead and use the rental property calculator. And like I said, I already put in the numbers because I wanted this to go really fast. But understand, guys, you can analyze a deal in like under 5 minutes. Like I analyzed this deal earlier today in 5 minutes. Like I ran through the numbers. So let me just show you how this works really quickly. and you guys will love this. So first of all, there's 3 pages and then the results. So page 1 is the information. So what do I want to call this report? What's the address? What's the city, the state, the zip code? How much are the taxes? Oh, wait, I don't know that, Brandon. I quit. I can't find it. Calm down. Calm down. If you don't know something on these calculators, all you have to do is hover over these little help question marks. It actually walks you through how to use the calculator. How do you find the number? So for example, taxes, if you're unsure, the information is typically publicly available on your county assessor's website. So you can go to your county and look it up. So for this one, actually, Realtor.com actually gives you taxes as well. Now, it's not always perfectly accurate, but it's good enough for what I'm doing right now, a quick and dirty screen. So taxes were about $3,000 on this property. I uploaded a photo of it. I uploaded the description, and that's it for page 1. Everybody can do this, right? Say yes. All right, page 2. Page 2 is the purchase information. How much we're going to buy it for? Well, they're asking $130,000. So I'm going to start analyzing it at $130,000. What's it worth when it's all fixed up? What's the ARV, after repair value? If you don't know how to find that out, hover over the question mark. But in this case, it's about $160,000. About $160,000 is what I estimated it to be. Next, closing costs. I put $3,500. Repair costs. Now, of course, we haven't been in the house yet. We don't really know how much the repairs are. But we're only making a good educated guess right now, just to get a good analysis. Once we go through the property, we can alter these numbers very easily later. And another thing I like about these calculators is BiggerPockets actually keeps, like, in your account, you can go back to any of your old analyses and check them out. So anyway, I estimated $10,000 for repairs. That's pretty much going in there and doing some painting, cleaning it up, getting it rent ready. All right, then we got our loan details. How are we going to do a loan on this? Well, for simplicity's sake, today I just chose a 20% down payment. Now, if you're saying, I don't have 20% down, I quit. Remember, there's lots of ways to finance deals, even if you don't have the money. But I'm just doing 20% for easy math right now. 5% interest rate, over 30-year mortgage. And if you want to learn more about the rest of these kind of options, just hover over the question marks and you'll get it. All right, last page of information. What is this property going to rent for? Now, a lot of you are saying, well, I don't know how to figure that out. Here's a super simple way. Check this out. I'm going to go over here to Google. This is how I usually do it. I type in Craigslist, North Branch housing, or whatever city you're looking for, right? Okay, I found Minneapolis as the nearest to North Branch, okay. And then I go here, and there's actually a map function. You can choose the map feature. So then I go to the map feature. I go up to North Branch. Where is it at? There it is. And I go in there and I look for different properties that are currently for rent. Like here's one right here. It's a 2-bedroom little apartment for $750. Here's a nice 4-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse for $1,300. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $1,800. Okay. So I'm probably going to be, now of course we'll want to verify this more in detail later, but I'm probably going to be somewhere between $1,300 and $1,800. So in this case, why don't we estimate, I'm going to go probably like $1,500 a month for rent. There's other ways to judge that as well. There's sites like Rentometer or Rentometer, however you say it, or Zillow. You can find out things that way, but this is just for quick and dirty. Next, we've got our, a bunch of people are telling me how to say it, analyses. I have no idea. All right, so now we got our expenses and our like, what other expenses do we have? Well, in a house, the tenants will pay their own electricity, their own water, sewer. I'm not going to have any PMI because I'm putting 20% down. No garbage, no HOA in these neighborhoods. So really, what do I have? Insurance? Okay, so $75 a month maybe there. That's probably about it for this. Then I've got vacancy, repairs and maintenance, CapEx, and property management. These are things that I am going to have to set aside money for every month. So I'm going to set aside, personally, I usually use about 5% for vacancy. That's just my number. I'm going to do $75 a month for repairs and maintenance, another $75 a month for CapEx, which is capital expenditures. That's big items like a new roof every 20 years, a new water heater every 10 years, new appliances every 10 years, right? That's kind of what CapEx is. It's replacing items. Repairs are fixing items. So I got $75 a piece for that. Management fees, 10% for property management. And then lastly, there's an optional section here in the calculator. I can put in income growth. Like, what do I think the income is going to do on this property over the next, X amount of years? Well, I'm guessing, over the last 100 years, inflation has caused income and property values and expenses to go up about 3% per year. So I'm going to be a little more conservative than that. I'm going to say 2%. But if you want to go 0, you can leave it blank. That's fine. So income 2%, property value 2%, expenses 2%. And lastly, we got our sales expenses. What do we think this property will someday, when we have to sell it, how much do we have to pay of the sales price to sell this thing? I said about 9% because we got to pay for a real estate agent and then we got to pay for, closing costs. So we'll say 9% of the sales price we're gonna lose at the end someday. And by the way, guys, in case you were wondering earlier, I forgot to say this, but I should. When we're doing repairs and maintenance and capital expenditures, and I say a percentage, like what percentage is our vacancy? That percent is based on the monthly rent. So 5% of $1,500 a month is $75. That's where that number comes from. All right, with that, we're going to calculate results. Now, before I show you the results, I'm going to calculate it. Before I show you, I'm going to pop up a quick poll on your screen. I want you guys to actually answer this poll question here real quick. Ready? Is this, based on what we know so far, at $130,000, is this a good deal or a bad deal? 130, we put 10 grand into it, and then we, $130,000, we put 10 grand into it, and then we rent it out for, what did I say, $1,500 a month? Good deal or bad deal? You guys know all the numbers at this point, right? You guys can all do it in your heads, right? That's what everyone says. People ask me this question all the time is, like, Brandon, do you just analyze deals in your head now that you've been doing this for a decade? I don't. Every deal, no matter what, every deal. In fact, I play a little game every week when I do this on webinars, and I play a game with myself, and I think, is this a good deal or bad deal? And guess what? I'm wrong half the time. Even I, who've been doing this for 10 years and have been analyzing deals every day, there's just so many nuances, which is why you have to analyze deals, guys. You have to. All right, closing the poll. 71% of people said it was a good deal. 29% said it was a bad deal. All right, let's find out. According to the numbers we just ran, our calculator, if all these numbers were legit, our cash flow every month looks like $241 a month. And our cash-on-cash return, which is like our return on investment that we get from our cash flow, is 7.34%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but let me tell you what my numbers are. I will not buy a single-family house unless I can get at least $200 a month in cash flow, which, yes, this deal does work out, but also I want at least a 12% cash-on-cash return personally. Like, that's what I like to see. So guess what? This deal doesn't work out for me because it's only a 7% return. I want 12%. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quit and go back to watching TV because there's no real estate deals out there, right? No, of course not. Check this out. I'm going to scroll down the page. I'm going to click Edit, and in less than 30 seconds, I'm going to go reanalyze this deal. Instead of offering 130, what if I offered them 115, but everything else stayed the same? Just what if? What if? And then we run the numbers again. Well, now I'm looking at $306 a month estimated cash flow and a 10% cash-on-cash return. So I'm doing much better on the cash flow, but a little bit low on the cash-on-cash return. But if you're familiar with how the two are kind of tied together, I could probably alter the loan amount a little bit. Let's say for some reason I was able to only put down, we'll say 15% instead, which there's ways to do that, especially using the BRRRR strategy. And we alter it a little bit. Now we're at 10.74% cash-on-cash and $275 in cash flow. So, at this point, I might say, yeah, this is looking a little bit better for me. Or maybe I want to go back and edit it one more time. And this time I'm going to offer, what if I offer them $100,000 and I did a 20% down payment? Does it work out now? What do you guys think? Let's find out. All right, so when I ran the numbers this way at 100 grand, my cash flow estimated was $370 a month and a 13.27% cash-on-cash return. I've hit my number. So if I verify all these numbers, then I would probably offer them 100 grand for this house. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, but Brandon, they're not going to say yes on that. You're probably right. Now, listen, guys, this is super, super important. This is probably the most important thing I'll say all day. Listen close. It doesn't matter if they say yes. My job is not to get them to say yes. My job is simply to work my process, right? To work the numbers. It's a numbers game. If I offer them 100,000, I get rejected, guys, about 90% of the time. 9 out of 10 of my offers get rejected. But you know what? In high school, when you get rejected, when you fail 90% of the time in high school, they call you a moron. You know what they call you in real estate when you fail 90% of the time? A millionaire. You guys know what I'm saying? Right? Because if you can get your offer accepted 1 out of every 10, but every one of those that you get accepted as a home run deal, you're going to become a millionaire, right? That's what's so cool about real estate. When you think about it in these terms, it changes everything. It changes everything. So tomorrow, guess who's going to offer $100,000 on this property? This guy, as long as nobody else does, right? Now I'm going to verify a few of these things. I'm going to call the agent. I'm going to find out how bad is the property. Maybe I'll go look at it. In fact, I'll probably go look at it tomorrow. But I want to verify this. I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to pursue this. And if I make enough of these offers, eventually I'm going to get what I want. Now, no, I'm not saying you should spam out 50 hours or 50 offers every single day. No agent's going to want to deal with you, right? But the deal is, if you want to get more deals, you've got to make more offers. Everybody feeling me so far? Everybody feeling good? All right, I'll show you one last thing before we move back to the slides. I got a little more to talk about. With these calculators, one other thing that I love about it is you can download a PDF report. A PDF report. What that means is you can actually download like this cool looking report. I'll show you right here if you'll be able to watch it. That shows like all the numbers at top. It shows pictures. It shows graphs and charts, all the metrics, so that I can see what this deal would be like if I bought it. In fact, I use these calculator reports whenever I try to get a loan on a deal. I always submit one of these calculator reports to them. If I'm working with a private lender or a partner, I always bring out one of those reports. If I'm just trying to show Heather, my wife, and say, hey, Heather, this is a pretty good deal. I want to buy it. I'll show her this report so I can walk her through the numbers. If for that reason more than anything else, listen, what happens when you show somebody a spreadsheet? Unless they're an accountant, their eyes gloss over. They don't know what you're doing. They get nervous and they don't want to do anything. But when I show them this report, like we designed this so you can show it to people and impress them with how well you've done your homework. So anyway, check it out. If you're not a BiggerPockets Pro member, you can still use these calculators up to 5 times for free. So definitely check it out. If you're not a Pro member, use it for 5 times each for free. But as a Pro member, you do get unlimited access. So make sure you guys check out the calculator. Now, I'm going to go back to our slides because we got a little bit more to talk about today before we get out of here. Let me ask you guys, are you guys having a good time? Are you guys learning a lot today? Like, let me know what you guys think in the little question area or over on social media. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this, if you're learning a lot of stuff. Because, you know, I'll keep going. I got some more stuff to talk about here. Good, okay. Heck yeah, Chase said. Woohoo, sure am, Geraldine said. All right, very cool. All right, so let's go back to our slides. I got a little bit more to talk about. We'll wrap up. And there was some Q&A and all the final door prizes and all that's coming up. So let me share my slides again. Going back to our window here. All right, can you guys see my window? Everybody can see it says the easiest way to analyze real estate investment properties, hopefully. All right, moving on. So you should see a picture right now of a guy jumping off a cliff, unless you're listening to this and then you can't see that. But all right, so real estate investing feels like you're jumping off a cliff sometimes, right? You're scared, you're nervous, you don't know what you're doing. You just feel like you're falling. Your friends are at the top laughing at you, right? But listen, guys, this is a lie. This is a lie. This is what real estate investing is really like. It is a walk. It is a hike. It is a path. In other words, it's not always easy, but you're on a trail that's been blazed by millions of people before you. It is not a free fall. You're not alone. You're walking a path that's been walked by millions of people before you. In fact, I'm on the same path you are. Like, there's people ahead of me, there's people behind me, there's people ahead of you, there's people behind you. We're all on the same path, helping each other, working this together, and that, in a nutshell, is the spirit of BiggerPockets. Like, that's what we do. At BiggerPockets, we build tools to help investors on their journey. And if you're looking at my slide, you can see I totally typoed BiggerPockets. It says BiggerPocker. That's awesome. All right. Like, that's what we do at BiggerPockets. We want to help you on your journey. I'm saying, hey, guys, I screwed up a lot. Here's what I learned. And you're like, oh, thanks, Brandon. And then when you get to my spot, you're going to be like, hey, guys, I screwed up a lot. And here's what I learned. And we're all helping each other. And this is the greatest community on earth because of that. Like, BiggerPockets, I am so a big a fan of this because I use BiggerPockets to become where I am today. Like, I use the forums. I use the blogs. I learned so much from BiggerPockets. And that's why I'm such a fanboy. Because this is not theory. This is how thousands and thousands and thousands of real estate investors, including myself, have found financial freedom, right? If you want more deals, go after them. Make some offers. Don't be afraid. Analyze some deals. Do the 90-day challenge with me. So here's 2 big questions. I want to kind of summarize where we're at today by asking 2 questions. Number 1, are you fired up and truly committed to using real estate to obtain financial freedom? Are you fired up? Do you believe that if you just buy enough property, flip enough houses, buy your rentals, get that cash flow, that you can have the life that you want, that you can travel the world, you can spend time with your family, spend time with your hobbies, like have fun, fire your boss. Are you guys fired up in the way that I am about this? Mary said, I'm so stoked. Suzanne said, yes, I do, with like 10 exclamation marks. I love it. I love exclamation marks. Chris had like 100 exclamations, 100%. Yeah, okay, good. That's good. Number 2. Now the rubber meets the road. Will you take on the 90-day challenge to buy your next property? I already asked you guys earlier, but those people who didn't say yes yet, are you ready? Are you committed to the next 90 days with me? I know technically there's only 88 days left in the year. You know, whatever. Great. I got a ton of yeses, a ton of people fired up. But there's a major problem. This is important, guys. Listen close here. One of my favorite quotes ever, Derek Sivers. He's a TED Talk guy. He said, if more information was the answer, we'd all be billionaires with perfect abs. You guys, you all know how to achieve financial freedom through real estate. You all know how to do it. Buy rental properties, flip houses, whatever you want to do, you can get there, right? But information is not enough. If information was the answer, we would all be billionaires with perfect abs, right? In other words, we all know how to lose weight and get a six-pack. None of us do it. We all know how to make money. Very few of us do it. So the real question is, what is the key to success? What do you actually need to do to succeed? What do you actually need to do? Take action, right? That's the key to all of this. Remember I said that quote earlier? Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. You have to change. If you want your life to be different, you have to become a different person. You need to take action. So are you going to take something you learned today, just one thing, 2 things, 3 things you learned today on this webinar, and are you going to apply it to your life and go out there and start kicking butt and taking names, right? Are you? Sadly, so many people don't. Are you going to be somebody, like Michael Jordan once said, some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. Are you going to be the person who just wants it and wishes it? Because there's a huge difference between desire and commitment. And that difference is action. So will you apply the things you learned today in your life? Here's an example of somebody who shot me an email. They came to a webinar that I did. Then they shot me this email like 3 weeks later. Dennis wrote me this email. It said, hey, Brandon, wanted to thank you and BP after attending your webinar on how to make $1 million in real estate. I got inspired to take action. There's that word. So I continue. So last week I closed my very first deal. I now have a triplex that is rented and will cash flow very well for me. I can now call myself a real estate investor. I have a plan moving forward and will make my business a success. Thank you. You guys listen to this. Dennis went to a webinar and he didn't just go back to watching TV every night, eating nachos, right? He made a difference. He changed his life. And 3 weeks later, he was the proud owner of a triplex. If Dennis can do it in 3 weeks, I think you can do it in 90 days, right? But the key is, like Dennis said, he went and took action. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Anybody here on this webinar right now in the question area? Anybody here in the last, let's say, the last 3 months buy a property? Did anybody take action on something they learned on a webinar that I taught and went out there and took action? Or maybe you didn't come to the webinar, maybe you just went out and bought a property anyway. But anybody just take action recently? I want to give you guys a shout out as well, not just Dennis. Now, listen, guys, I don't know why you came here today. There was like 1,500 people live today here. I don't know why you're here. There's a million different paths of life you're at. Some of you are experienced, some of you are new, some of you are old. I don't know. Maybe you're tired of working your full-time job and you're looking at real estate as a way to get out. Maybe you're just looking down the road and saying, hey, I need a plan for my future retirement. Or maybe you're tired of being a freaking wantrepreneur. That's right, a wantrepreneur. Maybe you're tired of that, right? You guys know what I mean? Tired of wanting it? Again, I don't know who you are. I don't know exactly why you came here today, but here's what I do know. Here's what I know. That my goal here today and our goal at BiggerPockets is to help you reach your goals. Like, I truly, fully, 100% want to see you achieve financial freedom because I know how good it can be. Listen, last April, I packed up my wife and my little girl and we went to Hawaii for the entire month. We spent a month because I wanted to learn how to surf. Right? That's what financial freedom means to me. You guys want to know what else financial freedom means to me? Last night at 1 in the morning, this is a true story. Last night so it's Hawaii, but last night at 1 in the morning, my daughter woke up. We're here at my parents' house in Minnesota. My daughter woke up screaming and crying, just screaming and crying. And normally when she does that, like, we comfort her down, calm her down, give her some food, whatever. She wouldn't stop. She just screamed and screamed and screamed, and like I didn't know what to do. Like I was freaked out. You know what I did? I packed up my wife. We jumped in the car, and we drove towards the hospital. You know what? Like, did the thought of I don't know if I can afford this ever cross my mind? No. Did the thought of like I'm not sure how I'll be able to pay that bill? Did the thought of wait, I got a 9 to 5 job I got to be at tomorrow morning. I got to be at work, right? Did any of that come across my mind? No. You know what financial freedom is to me? Is the ability to live your life without worrying about how I'm going to pay for that, right? Now, luckily, by the time we got to the hospital, actually, this is like my daughter fell asleep finally and was super calm and comfortable. I slept in the parking lot of the hospital last night, all night. We slept in the parking lot, my wife and I, in the car, just in case she woke up again. And like that's what financial freedom is to me, the ability to do that, right? I don't have to worry about how I can pay for it because of real estate. So at BiggerPockets, that's why we want to help you, because we know that you have dreams, you have goals, and we want to help you get there. So as part of that, like BiggerPockets exists to help you. We've created an entire community of people willing to help you. We created tools that you can utilize to get there faster and with less pain. Things like the calculators or things like the networking abilities that you can connect with people, real life meetups, all that stuff is designed to help you get there because we know that you can do it. Now, many times throughout this webinar, I've mentioned BiggerPockets Pro. A lot of you guys are Pro members, but a lot of you aren't yet. And maybe you're wondering, hey, should I become a Pro member? So do you guys mind for like 5 minutes or 4 minutes if I explain what Pro is? And you can tell me if you think it's good for your investment or not. Like if this is a good investment going Pro, then go Pro. If not, don't worry about it. But I'm going to explain for like 5 minutes, if that's cool, why I believe BiggerPockets Pro can help you buy more stuff. I really believe this. So as a Pro member, you get unlimited access to those calculators. If for nothing else, I believe it's worth upgrading to Pro just for that. Because understand, guys, 99% of the properties out there are not really deals. This is on your worksheet. 99% of the properties out there are not really deals. You have to analyze for the best. 99% of the properties out there are not really deals. You got to analyze for the best. So are you willing to analyze for the best? If so, if you want to do it quickly, if you want to analyze a deal in under 5 minutes and keep track of all your deals, and you can even, with BiggerPockets, you can even go and keep track of which ones you've made offers on, which ones got accepted, which is a really cool feature that a lot of people don't know about, but it's really, really cool. You become a BiggerPockets Pro member to get unlimited access to calculators and the PDF reports that come with them. Also, as a Pro member, you get powerful networking with BiggerPockets.com/meet. It's our networking tool. It's incredible. If I wanted to find an agent in this town of North Branch, all I have to do is go to BiggerPockets and Meet and find an agent who works here. It's that powerful. And as a Pro member, you get access to that. You also can post your haves of your needs in the BiggerPockets marketplace. So hey, if you're looking for a duplex in Cincinnati, go post on the marketplace tonight that you're looking for a duplex in Cincinnati, right? It's awesome. Also, you get unlimited keyword alerts with text message alerts as well. So if you want to get text message alerts every time a new deal in your area pops up on the marketplace, as a Pro member, you can get that. You also get unlimited webinar replays. If you like this webinar, if you learned a lot today, I've done webinars on like every imaginable topic with real estate. Okay, not everyone, but a lot of topics. Things like how to find deals, how to fund your deals, how to flip houses, how to analyze properties, how to analyze flips and rentals, how to use private money and how to get private money, how to do wholesaling, how to do burr investing, how to work with partners, how to use other people's money to flip houses. Like all this stuff, we've done tons of them. There's like 50 or 60 hours of webinars that you can watch as a Pro member. And also, when you have a little Pro badge next to your name, it just helps you stand out on the site as somebody who's serious and that people want to do business with. And as a Pro member, you can also upload a profile video. So on your BiggerPockets profile itself, you can have a video that says, hi, my name is Brandon, and this is what I'm looking to do, and this is why I'm doing it, right? What an incredible way to build trust and credibility. Listen, guys, how do I know this stuff works? Because I see it over and over and over on BiggerPockets. Here's a good example. I got another message I got from somebody, a private message on the site. It said this: I just want to say thank you for the webinar. It was very informative, gave me several good ideas. I signed up for Pro and I used the calculator you demonstrated to evaluate and make offers on 2 deals that I found. You guys check out the lapse funnel here, ready? One of those offers was accepted. The other, the seller, was unyielding in price even after I showed them the numbers. Oh well, their loss. So again, I just want to say hello and thanks. You guys, I love that story because not only did the person jump in and take action and start analyzing deals, that's awesome, right? And not only did they get one accepted, which is also awesome, but best of all, they didn't let emotion cause them to buy a bad deal. In fact, they're kind of flippant about it. They're like, oh, well, their loss. Like, I love that. It perfectly demonstrates what I'm talking about here. All right, so the big question is, how much is BiggerPockets Pro? So BiggerPockets Pro starts at $100,000 a day for. I'm totally kidding. Just kidding, guys. That was a guru joke, right? So these are real numbers the gurus are charging. Like some of the gurus are actually charging $100,000 for their quote unquote education. Some of the gurus are charging 50 grand. Some are charging 20 grand. The cheap guys, the guys that are super inexpensive, are charging 10 grand. You can get a screaming deal at 10 grand, right? We don't believe in any of that crap at BiggerPockets. We don't believe in it. If you've got that kind of money, guys, put it into a deal. That's what I think. So today, as of now BiggerPockets Pro is going up in price, but as of right now, BiggerPockets Pro is like $290 a year. So if that's you, if you're thinking, hey, it's only $290, that's a good business expense, then go ahead and upgrade to Pro. And if not, don't worry about it. But if you're thinking that yes, it would be a good idea, then tonight I want to encourage you guys today, here, right now, upgrade to BiggerPockets Pro, and then let me know that you did in the chat area. But as promised, I do have a discount code because, again, I like to encourage people to jump in and take action right away. So if you're sitting here on this webinar and you're saying, yeah, I think I am going to do this, you can save 20% reoccurring. Again, this is not just a one-time thing. Reoccurring 20% on a Pro annual membership. So instead of paying $290, it drops that down to $232. $232 to upgrade to BiggerPockets Pro annual. Every year you'll pay $232. Even when BiggerPockets Pro goes up in price here in a few weeks, which it is going up in price, by the end of the month. So you guys will lock in that lower rate of $232 per year, but you have to use discount code 1004 and upgrade to BiggerPockets Pro on an annual basis.
Hey guys, okay, it's podcast Brandon again as opposed to webinar Brandon. And I wanted to just take a quick break here to let you know that while we don't technically have a fire round in this episode, since it's not like an interview, I'm going to be doing the Q&A section next. So I just broke here to tell you I'm going to do the Q&A section, which is pretty much the same thing, except for I'm the one in the fire round seat, or whatever you want to call it. So in other words, it's time for the fire round.
It's time for the fire round.
Let's see. Sean asked the question, when using a hard money loan, is it LTV on appraised value or purchase price? Most hard money lenders will do a loan to, like, let's say 70% of the after repair value, which means what it's worth when it's all fixed up. Usually 60 to 70%. However, let me give an example for easy math. A property when it's all fixed up will be worth, let's say $100,000, right? It'll be worth 100 grand. So if a hard money lender will give you 70% of that, they'll give you up to $70,000. Now, let's just say the property, you could buy it for 50 and you needed 20 to fix it up. Am I overwhelming you guys with numbers? I wish I had a whiteboard right here, but I don't. So let's say, again, 100,000, they'll give you 70% of that. They'll give you 70,000. You could buy it for 50, put 20 into it, and now it's like no money down, right? Not quite. So, sorry, I need a drink of water. Haven't had one in like an hour and a half. Typically, the hard money lender is going to want something from you in the deal. They want you to put some money in. So even if it's an amazing deal, and even if it's under 70% or 65% loan to value, they're still going to want you to put something usually in, maybe 5 or 10 grand. All right. Let's see. Oh, Austin asked, what do you say about direct mail marketing? Yeah. Okay, guys, write down the URL. Ready? Write down something? Ready to write down? I'm going to give you my exact script or my exact direct mail letter that I use to get Rosie's fourplex. Go to BiggerPockets.com /DM letter. D as in dog, M as in Mary, letter. BiggerPockets.com /DM letter. Also, if you want to know my phone script, I'm just throwing out lots of cool stuff today. My actual phone script that me and my company that we use when people call us from direct mail marketing, go to BiggerPockets.com /phone script. PhoneScript. No spaces. Phone script. All right. Logan said, do hard money lenders care about credit? Some of them do, some don't. They care more about the deal. Daniel asked, if I had $150,000 liquid, what would you do with it? Daniel, great question, because I have, so I just sold my apartment complex. I received $200,000 in profit. I'm doing a 1031 exchange, which means I have to dump that money into a new property. That's why I'm going to buy something in the next 90 days, right? So I basically have the same problem you do. I have 200 grand of liquid to put into something. What do I do? So what I'm doing is I'm using that as a 20% down payment, and I'm going to buy $1 million property. So that's my plan. So I'm going to buy probably around anywhere between 850 and 1.2 million, or 1.5 million if I have a little bit more money I could put into it if I had to. But I'm going to put that as a 20% down payment on a home run deal. Remember, every property has a number that makes sense. So guess what I'm going to do? Every day for the next 90 days until I get a deal, I'm going to be analyzing one property. I'm going to make an offer every single week on something until I get my deal. So that's what I would do. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Man, I got to get out of here. If you missed anything, download today's webinar. You can download the entire slide deck by going to biggerpockets.com/1004 slides. You can get everything again there. Also, I'll send out a replay link right after this webinar ends, and you can watch the replay. So thank you guys so much. If I did not get to your question, I'm so sorry. There was 1,500 people here live tonight. Crazy. So I apologize. If I did not get to it, go into the forums and ask your question there. The BiggerPockets forums are so good. The people there are way smarter, way more experienced, way better looking, and way more awesome than I could ever hope to be. So jump in the forums and ask your question there, or search the forums. We have a really good search function on the site. It's up in the navigation bar. Search. You'll find the answer to a million questions there. If I did not give you a shout out, you guys are awesome. I'm sorry, but there's just so much going on tonight. So thank you guys for being a part of BiggerPockets, for being on the same path that I'm on. Thank you for being part of this community. Real estate's awesome. I'm excited about the future of real estate. I'm excited for you guys, those people who have committed to the next 90 days crushing it. So thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody, and I will see you maybe next week here on the BiggerPockets webinar, or next week on the podcast, or whatever. For BiggerPockets.com, my name is Brandon. Signing off.
And that is a wrap, folks. So hopefully you enjoyed this workshop today. A little bit different format here for the podcast. Again, normally we do an interview style, but today was just something a little bit different. I thought it'd be kind of fun to try it out. So I'm assuming you're still listening at this point. You must have kind of enjoyed it, right? Let me know. Hit me up at Twitter, at Brandon@BP on Twitter, or on Instagram, at BeardyBrandon. Let me know, did you like this style? Should we do more things like this, maybe more topical, or do you just always want to stick with the interviews? We're just trying to test out some new stuff, see what you guys think. So let me know. And with that, I don't know. I guess I'll let you guys know one thing. Before we get out of here, I just want to tell you guys I appreciate every single one of you. I mean, like, this whole cool thing of BiggerPockets, it's not about Josh Dorkin. It's not about me. It's not about the blog posts or the webinars or the podcast. What it's all about is the community. Like, without the community, without you guys, every one of you, we would be nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. We'd be like two guys sitting in a room talking to their Skype. And, you guys are what makes this a movement, and I love that. So thank you guys very much. And I hope you all join me on this 90-day challenge. I mean, I'm buying a property. I'm going to do it, something big by the end of the year because I just sold my 24 units, and now I got to replace it with something else. Is that a phone ringing? That is a phone ringing. Hold on. All right, I hope you all join me in the 90-day challenge and buying your first property. I mean, I'm going to buy mine, not first property, but next property. I got to dump the 1031 money into something. So I'm going to buy something big before the end of the year, something I've never bought before. I'm super excited, super pumped about it. Hopefully you guys are as well. Hopefully you're motivated and educated and inspired to go out and make the next 90 days just the best part of your year. Again, this is the best time to invest in real estate. So let's go out and do it together. And then let me know when you do. Just use hashtag BP90days, hashtag BP90DAYS on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Let us know when you bought that property. Let us know if you're keeping on track, if you're doing your 5 days a week. Let us know all that. So with that, it's time to get out of here. You guys got stuff to do. I got bed to get to. And since Josh is not here to take us out, I guess I'm going to do it today. So for BiggerPockets.com, my name is Brandon, signing off.
You're listening to Bigger Pockets Radio, simplifying real estate for investors large and small. If you're here looking to learn about real estate investing without all the hype, you're in the right place. Be sure to join the millions of others who have benefited from BiggerPockets.com, your home for real estate investing online.